Alright, so I made a video a while ago on what would be the fastest way to acquire a plus 15 weapon in Dark Souls. That video was more of a casual guide showing what is possible at the start of the game. What does Dark Souls allows to be done? The most egregious thing I did in that video was the skip to lower Undead Burg and the Capra Demon cheese using firebombs. I concluded that the fastest time to upgrade a weapon to plus 15 was 50 minutes. Then I made another video concluding that you could lower that time down to 35 minutes if you did sand skip to get the materials needed. Ever since this last video, I've been studying new ways to upgrade a weapon to plus 15 faster. I've been testing different routes, different ways to get the large embers and acquire the materials, and I've seen a lot of speedruns of this game to figure out what is possible. This time, we're using every glitch imaginable to get this done. We're gonna be duping souls, duping consumables, duping materials, duping your mom. We're going to break the absolute living shit out of this game. I want to give a shout out to Catalyst, mainly his all achievements speedrun because I think that category is the only one that bothers acquiring the large embers, and to Minoan, which is another speedrunner whose videos help me a lot mainly on how to dupe things in Dark Souls Mastery. Their content is premium and they're the real life Dark Souls gods, so check them out if you didn't. I highly doubt that, but I'll leave the link in the description anyway. We're starting out as the Thief class because it already has the Master Key. This way I can choose the black firebombs as my starting gift. These firebombs are going to be useful for a variety of things, and the first one is to kill the Asylum Demon on our first encounter. The first thing I do is to throw firebombs on that door, and those will hit the demon when he drops down. Unfortunately, I'm not the fastest gunslinger of the Old West. I was able to make a comeback and the demon died to 5 firebombs. Just as planned. After this, I'll speak to Oscar so he can give me the key to the door, which now he carries because killing the Asylum Demon early changes the course of history in this game. Excuse me, sir? At the wall, I'll perform a quit out because doing so gives your character the power to break walls. This way I don't have to wait for the boulder. As soon as Oscar gives me the key, I'll use a dark sign that'll teleport me to the bonfire right after the door to escape the demon. I think this is a bug because you should be teleported to the cage you spawned in, but going through the door before the game recognizes that you killed the Asylum Demon makes it warp you to this safe position. Here I'll perform another quit out to skip the opening door animation. When you reach Firelink, there's a text that appears prevent you from running. If you spam the gesture menu, you can skip it. At the elevator, I'll perform a consumable dupe. I do this by opening the brightness menu in a weird way. I'll press A to confirm and right bumper slightly after it to go to the inventory menu. You know it worked because you can see the inventory menu under the brightness menu. Now I have to select the consumable I want to dupe and I need to confirm it while brightness is selected. This opens the item options under the menu, and I need to confirm the use item option while defaults is selected. I do this by pressing down and right on the D-pad at the same time, but I personally prefer to do it on my keyboard because it's harder to mess up. Doing this doesn't do anything in the use item menu, which is exactly what we want. Now I just press right on the D-pad to select defaults. The reason for this is that defaults stores the item quantity from whenever you want to buy an arrow or use an item that can be used in quantity, but I haven't opened any prompt like that since I started the game, so the default is 0. You can use 0 items, so the game bugs out and allows us to use 99 humanity. Hell yeah, who's the hollow now, bitch? I did this because you can raise the item discovery of your character up to 10 humanity, and this run relies on 2 random drops to occur. The first one is the Halberd from the Black Knight that has a 20% chance of dropping, and the 2 large Titanite shards from the Crystal Lizard. These lizards always drop 2 Twinkling Titanites, but the large Titanite shards have a 25% chance. All of that is increased a bit with the humanity. Going through the Valley of Drakes, I'll pick up the soul of a Proud Knight that I'll be duping in a bit. Now I'll run past the Drake, making sure to take the adequate turn depending on his attack, and now I'll be doing an up warp. If you quit the game while falling down this elevator hole, you will spawn at the upper floor, and this is very easy to do. Now I'll leave the bonfire and it's time to dupe another consumable, the soul that I just picked up. I'll be doing it the same way I've done with the humanity, making me very rich very early in the game.
I'm rich! I'm rich! I don't need to go home anymore.
This will allow me to meet the requirements to wield the Black Knight Halberd. I'm also leveling up vitality because I'll be taking some damage later, and I'm making sure to have enough souls to spend at Endry later as well. I go over here to grab the Grass Crash Shield, which increases stamina recovery, and I'll perform a quit out to reset the position of the Black Knight. Now I'm gonna be totally upfront with you guys. I made a backup of my save file in here. That's why it's taking a bit, because I need 2 random drops to occur for this to work, and for the sake of my sanity and for the sake of this video ever coming out, I decided to back up the save file instead of restarting the game every time I didn't get the drops that I need. But as it turns out, I was lucky enough to get the necessary drops to occur the first time, so I didn't even need to use the backup, which is pretty neat. The fight with the Black Knight went horribly. You see, the RNG with this guy isn't just on the drop, but also his behavior, which just makes me feel sorry for speedrunners of this game, because to get a good run started, you need this guy to die as fast as possible, and that would be by baiting his attack so he can fall off the cliff. Eventually I managed to kill him and I got the halberd. Now it's time for the Crystal Lizard. This Crystal Lizard always drops Twinkling Titanite, which I'll be using to upgrade the halberd, but the Large Titanite shard has a drop rate of 25%. Before that though, I'll do a little detour to grab the Hunter set that's over here, because I absolutely need the bow and I'll not be visiting the merchant from Undead Burg. It's funny that the Hunter class starts with the short bow, but its set has the long bow instead. Now I'll kill the Crystal Lizard with 1 punch and 1 black firebomb, and lo and behold, it dropped the Large Titanite shards, exactly what I needed. Now is when the run actually starts. When I get to Endry, I'll be performing a prompt swap glitch to dupe the Twinkling Titanite. I do this by opening the menu to purchase arrows, then I press confirm. At the same time I click to switch the menu to the weapons one with my mouse. This will open a prompt asking for how many long swords do I want to buy, but when you buy a weapon you don't have this prompt. Multiples of the same weapon are different items, unlike arrows and consumables that have a number attached to them. I buy 9 long swords. Now I have 1 long sword that's actually 9 long swords, but that shouldn't be possible. This makes the game confused, and then when I open the prompt to buy 1 long sword the normal way, the game tries to figure out how many long swords I have. Well, since you can have 1 long sword that is 9, the game subtracts the max item stack of the item, that would be 1, by the quantity I have in my inventory, that is 9. 1 minus 9 equals -8. And this is the number that will be stored when I open the menu to purchase 1 long sword the normal way. After that, I perform the item dupe from before, but this time I'll be choosing to drop -8 Twinkling Titanite. The game then attempts to subtract a negative number, and if you know anything about math, you know that 2 negatives makes a positive. Thus, I get 8 additional Twinkling Titanite. After this is done, I buy 9 Titanite shards and open the longsword prompt one more time because I'll need to dupe another item later. I upgrade the Demon's Great Hammer, which will be my weapon of choice for Ascension, and then I upgrade the Black Knight Halberd to +5. Now, the next step is to grab the Large Ember from the deaths. I go down the elevator to Firelink Shrine, and while at it, I dupe the Black Firebomb because I'll need at least 5 to kill Ingwarn, and doing this is faster than picking up those from Firelink Shrine. This grants me 12 Black Firebombs, which are more than enough. I rest at Firelink Shrine's bonfire so I can warp back here when I use a dark sign later. At the entrance of Undead Burg, I jump to this wall and go down the ladder, where I'll perform a different lower Undead Burg skip. Before doing so, I pick up the rubbish to trade with Snuggly later. I go up the ladder and I failed the glitch the first time, so I had to do a quit out to de-aggro the hollows. You need to do this only once because the hollows won't aggro again. I failed to perform the glitch one more time, and for each attempt I have to go down the entire ladder for this to work. It is possible to do this without going all the way down, but it's much harder in my opinion. When you reach the top of the ladder, you have to slowly move the camera to face right. Then you have to press Alt2 to perform the strong attack of the sword hilt from your left hand to go up the slope. When the character gets up here, you need to press L2 again while moving the character to the direction of the other wall. You don't have to roll immediately like I did here. If you did it correctly, the character will be standing on the other wall. Now you have to roll forward to land on top of the wall that is the entrance of the Capra Demon boss fight. While here, I switch to the Halberd and heal myself. Then I jump down. The boss fight won't activate unless you get close to the fog wall. The dogs will be active though. I go behind the boss so I can hit him and the dogs as well. I two-shot Capra Demon and manage to kill the dogs. When the key to the deaths drop, I perform a quit out to de-aggro the dogs that stay just outside the fog wall. Now I just have to sprint to the deaths to grab the Large Ember. It's worth noting that there's another way to go to the deaths that wouldn't require killing Capra Demon. However, after testing both routes, I found out that it's 20 seconds faster to kill Capra Demon this way. The other way is also much harder to pull off with a lot of risky jumps. I arrive at the butcher, kill the dog with a firebomb, and then the game crashes. Good. After doing this route many times, I found out that Dark Souls will crash at this spot at the deaths every other time. And this seemed to happen to everyone. Check out this clip from Catalyst's stream.
Oh, great game by the way. It just crashed out of nowhere. Fortunately, a game crash doesn't invalidate the run, and as the in-game time is tied to the save file, it rolls back along with the progress.
What's going on at the deaths that makes the game crash? Maybe it has to do with the skip, I don't know. Once I loaded back in, I spawned at the entrance, meaning I lost some progress when it crashed. After throwing a firebomb at the dog, I opened the chest, and then I quit out, otherwise I will be the next thing on the menu. I grabbed the Large Ember and Dark Sign back to Firelink Shrine. Ooh, that's scary. Now it's time for the very Large Ember. I've attempted some different routes to get this one. The fastest way is by using a glitch called FC Quit Out that uses the Fall Control spell, but that will require me to save Griggs, and to save Griggs I will need to talk to the merchant in Undead Burg, losing about 2 minutes in total. So the route I'm taking is the same from my original video, except I'm taking a shortcut for the very Large Ember. I'm moving to the left here so the ghost gets out of the way. Here I perform a quit out to respawn the ghost to the original positions. Now I'll aim all the way up in the direction of inward to throw a firebomb, and then shoot an arrow right after. That was pretty sick, admit it. Now I just have to throw more firebombs to kill him. The reason you want to shoot an arrow at him is because sometimes he doesn't aggro with just one firebomb, and other firebombs won't reach him if he doesn't aggro. Now it's time for this nerve-wracking jump, and then I proceed to unflood the place. To get to the Large Ember, first I'll backtrack the way I came from. Unfortunately, I took a lot of damage from these ghosts. Maybe it would have been safer to do a quit out here. Good thing I leveled up that vitality, right guys? I need to heal because I'll be taking fall damage in a bit. To get to the Ember, you want to turn right here and jump straight ahead. Then all you have to do is go up the steps. And there's the chest that contains the very Large Ember. I do a quit out here because you heard that scream, right? Well, that's your mama, and she's not happy with you playing around past midnight, and she'll do this to you if you don't quit out. Back at Firelink Shrine, the last thing I need is the Titanite Slab and the Titanite Chunk that I'll be trading with Snuggly, so it's time to head back to the Undead Asylum. Snuggly trades rubbish for one Titanite Chunk, and this is the fastest chunk of this run since both Rubbish and Snuggly are on the way. These torch hollows are the bane of my fucking existence, so I bait them up here to go around them and perform a quit out so they don't interfere the fight. Stray Demon has a massive health pool, and even with an upgraded halberd it took me a bit to defend him, but the fight went very smoothly. I tried the other methods of killing him, including sorceries or using the +5 weapon I upgraded from Andre, but none of these methods are faster than a fully upgraded Black Knight Halberd. If I were to use a +10 or even a +14 weapon, I would lose too much time because I would have to pay another visit to Andre before coming here, and the halberd just outdamaged anything at this point. And I know what you're thinking, what is the point of upgrading a weapon to +15 if you already have a +5 Black Knight Halberd? And the point is to go fast. With Stray Demon defeated, I do 3 things. First, I unequip the halberd, then I spam A to pick up the Titanite slab. Unlike other items from bosses, the slab you have to pick up. And then I use a dark sign before gaining the souls from defeating the boss. This way I can keep those souls and don't have to dupe another soul just to upgrade the weapon to +15. Now that I have all the embers and materials that I need, I go to Andre to dupe the materials. First, I dupe the Titanite chunks and then I dupe the large Titanite shards. Both times I need to open the prompt to buy the longsword for this glitch to work. Finally, I upgrade the Demon's Great Hammer to +15, clocking at 18 minutes and 57 seconds, and this is the fastest way to upgrade a weapon to +15 in Dark Souls. However, it's important to note that breaking the game like that might not be the best way to play it. The main aspect that makes this game fun is to start out weak and become powerful as you progress through the game and find powerful weapons and materials and grind for souls to level up. Getting all of the souls and materials that you need using a glitch trivializes the entire game. The point of this video is to show how fast you can upgrade a weapon to +15 using everything that is possible within the game. But if you want to know how to do the same thing without using game breaking glitches, check out my original video on the subject, as well as the follow-up video where I discuss alternative ways to do that. And if you want to use these glitches to become super powerful super early in the game, you can do it. It's your game and you make the rules. Now, of course you have to try out this big ass hammer, but first let me clarify something. A lot of people suggested that getting the lightning spear that's dropped by a mimic incense fortress would be the fastest way to upgrade a weapon to +15. That's because you can downgrade the spear from a lightning variant to a +10 standard variant, and then you can use Titanite chunks and 1 slab to upgrade it. You don't even need the Large Ember to do this, only the very Large Ember from New London Ruins. If you're doing a normal playthrough where you don't dupe all of the materials and souls, then yeah, doing sand skip to get the spear, then downgrade it to +10 would indeed be the fastest way to upgrade a standard weapon to the max level. However, following the route that I came up with, I found out it would be just marginally faster. Using that save backup that I told you about, I decided to try this out, doing the spear % route. You see, in my speedrun, after you get to Undead Burg and upgrade the halberd, there are 3 things you have to do. Get the Large Ember from the depths, get the very Large Ember from New London Ruins, and get the Titanite slab by defeating the Asylum Demon. Doing the spear % route, the only thing that would change would be, instead of going to the depths for the Large Ember, would have to go to Sands Fortress for the spear. Also, the crystal lizard that we needed to drop large Titanite shards, this time has to drop at least 1 Titanite chunk, because we're not going to Undead Burg, so we're not picking up the rubbish, and we don't need large Titanite shards anyway, so this would be the fastest Titanite chunk of this run. Following that route, I was able to get a time of 18 minutes and 52 seconds. Granted, I messed up this jump in New London Ruins and had to walk all the way up. So you can definitely say that going for the spear could be faster than the first route I came up with, but that would be just marginally faster, and you would be limited to the spear, so yeah. Now let's try it out. What the fuck? Holy shit! 748 damage. Now that's a lot of damage. Alright, let's go for the second gargoyle. And you're dead, buddy. Ladies and gentlemen, the Demon's Great Hammer. I wouldn't recommend it though. This big ass hammer weighs 22 units. I mean, fuck. Now let's try the spear, and I gotta be honest, it's actually a decent weapon. Especially because you can block while using it, which is useful against these annoying hollows. Man, this is actually very useful. Now it's your time, buddy. Dead. Alright, let's kill Lautrec. Come on. Come on. Stop hitting the wall, dude. What the hell? Now that was weird. Alright, let's try out the spear. Damn, bro. This is the true lightning spear. And here goes one gargoyle. Ouch. Ouch. Let's try the R2 attack. Ho ho. Ladies and gentlemen, the spear. Alright, thank you so much for watching this video. Leave a like, subscribe, comment, and I see you guys next time.